What's the most ridiculous thing you've done to impress someone you liked? 1. Back in college, I had a huge crush on this guy who was really into fitness, like the kind of person who drank protein shakes for fun and casually ran 5 miles before class. Meanwhile, I considered walking to the fridge a workout. One day, we were hanging out with a group of friends and he casually mentioned how he was into rock climbing, and for some reason, my brain decided that this was the moment I needed to lie. "Oh, I love rock climbing," I blurted out. "I go all the time." I had never climbed anything taller than my couch. Of course, he got super excited and immediately invited me to go climbing with him that weekend. I panicked but figured, how hard could it be? Spoiler, very. The day arrived and we went to one of those indoor climbing gyms. I was already nervous, but I figured I could fake it. That confidence lasted exactly 10 seconds, because the moment I put on the harness and attempted my first climb, I realized I had zero upper body strength. I got about 2 feet off the ground before my arms started shaking like a leaf in a hurricane. But I was determined. I kept trying, struggling up the wall in what I thought looked like a serious athletic attempt, but probably looked more like a baby sloth having an existential crisis. Then the worst happened. I reached for a hold, missed, and instead of gracefully falling like an action movie hero, I somehow spun around midair, got tangled in the harness, and ended up dangling completely upside down, just swaying there like a bat, staring at my crush while he tried so hard not to laugh. A staff member had to come help me flip back over while I mumbled, "Yeah, I do this all the time." Safe to say, he figured out pretty quickly that I had never rock climbed before. He was nice about it, but I was so embarrassed I avoided him for like a week. Moral of the story? If you're gonna lie about being athletic, maybe pick something that doesn't involve gravity. 2. In high school, I had the biggest crush on this guy who was really into classic literature. Like, he'd casually quote Shakespeare and mention how much he loved Tolstoy. Meanwhile, my literary expertise consisted of reading Harry Potter 17 times. But in my teenage brain, I thought if I want him to notice me, I need to seem super intellectual. So one day we were talking in a group and he mentioned how The Great Gatsby was one of his favorite books. I had not read it, but did I admit that? Nope. Instead, I went all in. "Oh my gosh, I love that book," I said dramatically. The symbolism, the depth, incredible. He looked impressed. I felt victorious. Until he asked me my favorite part. Panic. Full body panic. My brain blanked. I had no idea what happened in The Great Gatsby except that there was a party and a green light somewhere, so I blurted out, "Oh, definitely the part where Gatsby and Daisy finally get together and live happily ever after." He just stared at me. Then, very gently, he said, That's not what happens." I tried to recover. "Oh, I mean before the ending, obviously. When they almost live happily ever after." It was too late. He knew. The group knew. Everyone knew. He laughed and said, "You've never read it, have you?" And I, absolutely mortified, just muttered, "Not yet," before dramatically sipping my soda to avoid eye contact. So, if you're gonna lie about loving a book, at least read the Wikipedia summary first.